One quick note when raising the sail, make sure that the out haul is released. If the out haul is pulled, it'll pull the sail out and away from the mast when you're trying to get it up that last couple of feet. That'll restrict it. Okay. Also, when you're doing the down haul, make sure the out haul is released to fit the slide into the luff track. I fitted my boat with a block with a becket to make it a little easier to down haul. The line runs down to the cleat through the middle. Run the line back through the block. You might have to pull on the slide a little bit to keep it in line when you downhaul. Just do enough downhaul to get it in the track and go ahead and tie it off. We'll do additional downhaul later. Now I'm ready to run the main sheet block, so I've released it from the front of the boom, laid it down on the trampoline. Now I'm going to pin it to the traveler car, then thread the traveler system. When threading your main sheet system, attach your main ratchet block to the traveler car. The other end of that line that comes out of the jaws comes back into the swivel jam cleat at the rear crossbar. The line runs aft, back out to the traveler car, the middle of these two rollers, out the back of the traveler car, through a stainless steel eye strap at the rear, tie a figure 8 knot. You've got control over traveler position. The tighter you pull here, the more it comes to the center. Whatever adjustment you make and cleat it will be equal adjustment on the opposite tack. Release it all the way, that'll allow the car to travel all the way out. I've added a knot so that the line can only come to one position, which stops the car from hitting the end of the track, which could damage the traveler car. Now we're ready to raise the jib. I've attached the tack of the jib to the 10-hole adjuster. We'll discuss the positioning a little bit later. Attach the halyard, pull the sail forward, and attach the jib hank. The jib hank guides the sail up the forestay. Raise the jib with the halyard, reach up, pull the loop of line free of the block and becket, place it under the loop underneath the cheek block, pull tension on the halyard, place the halyard underneath the cleat. To get additional halyard, cinch it up. You want it pretty snug so the rig's not flopping around. If you get it too tight, the mast won't rotate correctly. Take the excess halyard line, place it in a pouch on the trampoline, or as I do, I place it tucked underneath the halyard itself. That'll keep it there. Now you need to attach your jib clew blocks to the clew of the jib. There's 5 holes with which to choose from. I attach it to the middle one to start with. We'll discuss a little bit about adjusting to the other holes in just a moment. Make sure the shackle's snug because it's going to be flapping around. You don't want it to come loose. Make sure there's no twists in the jib sheets. Proper forestay tension on the jib wire inside the luff of the jib will allow the forestay that you used in rigging to go loose. That's the way it should be. Now we're ready to set the correct downhaul. Just as when you're raising the sails, when you're going to adjust downhaul using the main sheet system, like when you're raising the sails, make sure the boat is turned into the wind. I pull the main sheet forward on the trampoline so that I can do both the main sheet and the downhaul at the same time. I pull a little tension on the main sheet and then pull a little more until I get proper tension on the downhaul. Main sheet tension pulls the boom down, which makes the downhaul easier. Pull the wrinkles free of the sail. That's just all you need. Just pull the wrinkles out. We're just about ready to go sailing. Now I've got a couple more tricks, a little bit of tuning, a little bit of adjusting that can help you sail better. The hole position that you place the foot of the jib in at the forestay adjuster is going to make a difference in how much gap there is at the jib sheeting block. Sheeted snugly, there's lots of room between the clew block and the jib sheeting block. We can afford to go down a hole or two on the forestay adjuster. The higher the jib is on the forestay adjuster, the more the sail comes closer to the mainsail up at top. That cuts off the airflow. You want to sail with the jib as low as possible. The only time you want it a little higher is if this jib clue block touches the jib sheeting block before you're fully sheeted. When making adjustments using the clue plate on your jib, the higher you place your blocks, the more it tensions the top of the sail by pulling down on the leech. The lower you place the clue blocks on this plate, the more it pulls back on the foot or lower part of the sail, trimming the lower part of the sail. The Hobie 16 performs best with a lot of mast rake. To find out whether or not you can go for a little more mast rake than you have already, sheet in hard on your main sheet blocks. If the blocks, when fully sheeted, aren't coming close to touching, then you can adjust for a little more mast rake. To adjust for that mast rake, adjust your shrouds to a lower hole position, and then retension your jib halyard. When tacking the Hobie 16, you backwind the jib to get the boat across the eye of the wind. Once across the eye, you ease the jib sheet and let it go across. As it goes across, the jib drags against the mast. I've cut my batten shorter so that they don't catch on the halyards. You can also place a little bit of tape over the end to protect it. Correct rudder lockdown and rudder rake is going to make a big difference on how the boat handles. To lock the rudders down, lift the tiller arm, make the rudder come in contact with the lower part of the casting. You'll hear it clunk, then drop the tiller arm straight down. You'll hear a lock. The way the system works, you can hit the beach, it'll kick the rudder up, or you can lift the arm and then pull it forward to get the rudder in the up position. The system runs with a black plastic cam, runs on a spring-loaded plunger through the middle of the casting. This cam is actuated by a plate that can be moved fore and aft on the upper rudder casting. You attain rudder rake adjustment with a set screw in the lower rudder casting and adjusting for tension on the upper rudder plate. The rudders, as you move them forward, will ease the pressure or weather helm. As you move them back, the weather helm or pull on the tiller will increase. If you've got a lot of pull on the tiller, either your rudder's not correctly locked or the rudder rake's not set properly. The more mast rake you put on the boat, the more weather helm you get with the rudders. You need to rake adjust forward to account for mast rake. Be sure to grease your cam occasionally. This cam system, operating on a spring-loaded plunger, requires grease in this area. The plastic Hobie Cat rudder has a slightly fatter trailing edge than just inside of this area. This fatter edge creates a hum when you move through the water. The rudder should be shaved down. I've actually shaved this one to a width about this wide using a scissor blade drawn across the blade here from about the area where it touches the water down to the tip. Shave that down a little bit, put about a 1/16 inch of flat on the back edge. That'll get rid of any hum. Well, that's it for me. We're all rigged and ready to go sailing. If you learn any tricks to help you rig a little quicker and spend more time sailing, let me know. I'm always looking for ways to save a little time so I have more time to sail. Take care.